Aloha, everybody. Welcome to the Committee on Government Operations. We're reconvening today, Tuesday, February 5th, 2026 at 3 p.m. for decision-making on measures previously heard on February 3rd. We are convened in conference room 225. The DM is being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that we have to abruptly end this hearing due to technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding decisions at 3:30 p.m. Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 in room 225, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website as well. First up we had heard was 2064 relating to state construction projects. Members, we'd like to defer this 1 week time certain to Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. in room 225 because we're hearing another measure that is similar and we'd like to compare the two and integrate them if possible. Okay. Next up, 2312. This is one for, clarifies that records created, received, and maintained are subject to UWIPA. We'd like to keep this going along for discussion. However, recognizing the concerns, we're going to adopt the recommended amendments of replacing government function with agency function on page 1, lines 5, 9, and 14, and page 2, lines 15 and 18. We're going to incorporate the concerns, however, from the Attorney General's testimony into the committee report and ask that the next committee examine them further, given the time strain. We are going to exempt the ERS for now because of their concerns that they laid out, and with effective date of January 1st, 2025 for further discussion. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair.
2312?
2312, sir, yes, I'm sorry.
Okay, hang on. Pass with amendments?
Yep, pass with amendments, sir.
On SB 2312, Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Chair McKelvey?
Yes, sir.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Hashimoto? Excused. Senator Moriwaki?
Aye.
Senator Owa?
Aye.
Measure is adopted.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Next bill, Senate Bill 2811, relating to state building projects. Given the testimony was in support, we're going to go ahead and move this on. We are making tech non-substantive amendments for the purposes of clarity and consistency. We are going to effect date this to July 1st, 2025 as well for further discussion. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, SD1.
Chair's recommendation on SB 2811 is to pass with amendments of the members present. Are there any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay, thank you so much. Next up, 2662, relating to government accountability. We'd like to go ahead and work on this measure further. So with the committee's indulgence, we'd like to defer this 1 week time certain to Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. in room 225. Next up, we have relating to due process, SB 2744. We did not receive any testimony on this measure at all, and this is the rule of the committee. We won't advance anything without any kind of support, so we're deferring this measure indefinitely. Next up, we have Senate Bill 2809 relating to budget-related reports, something that I think myself and others have been talking about for a while. So given that, I'd like to move this bill along as quickly as possible. So recommendation is as is. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, 2809 as is.
Chair's recommendation is to pass SB 2809 as is. Of the members present, any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure passes.
Okay, next up, 2862, relating to gubernatorial appointments. Members, we'd like to work further on this measure to try to fine-tune it and address the concerns raised. So with everybody's indulgence, defer 1 week time certain, Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. to take a closer look at the issues raised. Next up, we have Senate Bill 2343 relating to the legislature. What we're going to do with this one is defer 1 week time certain to Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. because there is another bill that encapsulates the report that was actually issued. We'd like to integrate them. Okay. And next up is Senate Bill 2336 relating to trees. Recommendation is a Senate Draft 1. We're going to go ahead. We're going to remove political subdivision. We think that that should be left to a reso to urge the counties to adopt this rather than a mandate. And we're going to defect date it to January 1st, 2525. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, your bill, go.
SB 2336. Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Of the members present, any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure passes.
Okay, next up, relating to public procurement, Senate Bill 2075. We'd like to go ahead and defer this 1 week time certain to Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. in room 225. We're going to look at what other states are doing for the bid preference and also as a way to address any possible constitutional concerns. Next up, we have Senate Bill 2308 relating to procurement. This is a small purchase vendor compliance bill. What we're going to do is we're going to accept the SBO recommendation on increasing it to threshold to 5,000, not 6,000, because the 5,000 can be tied to the changes that were made in New York and California insofar as the cost increases go, and therefore there's a rational relationship to the number being set. And so therefore we're going to go with the $5,000, but we're going to add an effective date of July 1st, 2525 in the measure as well for further discussion. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair.
Chair's recommendation on SB 2308 is to pass with amendments. Any no votes or reservations of the members present? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay. Next one, Senate Bill 2601 relating to procurement. What we're going to do is we're going to accept the SBO recommendation of breaking out the misdemeanor as number 4 in the list of enumerated offenses. That could be enforcement that could be done by the SPO. We're going to blank out the appropriations in the FTEs because although we understand the concerns of the SPO and being able to address the contracts of 10% and wanting it to 15%, we think that with these extra resources there might be a way for them to be able to do this. We'll have the Committee on Ways and Means look at this issue further since this is their purview, and we'll defect date to July 1st, 2025 as well.
Chair, I think what I saw the SPO was to keep in the criminal penalties.
Yeah,
Leave it in.
we're enumerating it as number 4.
Oh.
Right now it's just part of a paragraph.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
gonna,
Oh, you're gonna put it.
yeah, as number 4. So pretty much what they asked for.
Oh, okay.
But we are going to go ahead while we gently disagree with the 15% and keep it 10% and then send the FTEs in consideration to Ways and Means.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool, no, thank you. All right, anybody else? If not, Vice Chair.
Chair's recommendation on SB 2601 is to pass with amendments. Any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay, 2397, a suddenly wildly popular bill to address concerns in the neighborhood board. I've had these people personally tell me about this, even though I'm from Maui. As a result, we're going to want to fast track this, and so we're going to go as is. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, 2397 as is.
Chair's recommendation is to pass as is. Are there any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure is adopted.
Okay, 2219 relating to public access. This one would set up the Capitol Visitor Center. This is something we've tried before, but we've run into numerous snags, and so I think in order to try to ensure that something can be done that can be effectuated through legislation, we're going to create a working group to include representatives as follows. I'm going to put myself, the chair of GVO, on it. We're going to invite the chair of LMG to come in from the House to come and join us. A rep from DAGS, a rep from LRB, a rep from the Business Enterprise Program within DHS, and a rep from the Joint Legislative Access Committee, and any additional members as deemed necessary by the working group. We're removing mention of funding and positions, and we'll leave that up to Ways and Means to see if that's needed, and a effective date of January 1st, 2525. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, Senate Draft 1, 2219.
On SB 2219, recommendations to pass with amendments. Any no votes or reservations?
No.
Noting one no vote and one excuse, the measure is adopted.
Okay, great. Next up is 2849 relating to public meetings. This one is to help our disabled community. So as a result, we're going to make technical non-substantive amendments for the purposes of clarity and consistency. And we'll go ahead and add an effective date of 25/25 for further conversation in case something else is needed. Members, questions, comments? If not, Vice Chair, 2849, Senate Draft 1.
Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments. Are there any no votes or reservations? Hearing none, the measure passes.
Okay, thank you so much. 2449 relating to public meetings. While we appreciate the intent of trying to define business days by limiting it to specific hours is a little over prescriptive, and given that OIP considers this proposed amendment as unnecessary, we're going to defer this measure for this year. Okay? Next up, 2781 relating to lay. This is the bill trying to go ahead and ensure that Hawaii lays are sold. We want to defer this 1 week time certain, Thursday, February 12th at 3 p.m. in room 225, to look at how we can go ahead and perhaps mirror the labeling laws that we have to ensure Hawaii products are protected and promoted. Okay? And then that concludes our 3 p.m. decision-making agenda. We will now do a brief, we'll gavel out of that and come back in for our 3:01 p.m. agenda. So we're out. Okay, aloha everybody. Welcome to the 3:01 agenda. We are still convening here in conference room 225. Meeting is still being streamed live on YouTube. In the likely event that we get disconnected, we will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business at 3:30 p.m. Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. In this room 225, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. In order to facilitate this hearing in a timely manner, we'll be enforcing a 2-minute limit on testimony. And as such, we please ask you don't read from your testimony submitted and add to it with new thoughts or comments or observations. And then please feel free to stand up on your written testimony. So we love that. Anyway, first up is 2983, relating to natural resources. This is offense of criminal destruction of a tree on state or county property, punishable as a misdemeanor. We have Daniel Donnell. Written testimony and support. We have 2 individuals, Jennifer and Ted Bolin, who, both written in support. That's all we have on 2983. Anybody in the audience who really wishes to testify on this? Seeing none, really can't ask anybody questions because they're not here, so we will move on to the next bill on the agenda, which is...
Chair.
Yes. We have nobody else with us.
I know. I guess amongst ourselves. Do you know what this would do?
We can probably do this on decision-making.
Okay.
For decision-making, we can talk amongst ourselves about it. But
Okay.
otherwise, if there's somebody here who totally have a question, but just to keep it rolling so we can keep questions in. But we can talk later about the questions. So we won't make a move without you. Okay. Okay. Let's see, next up, 2930, Risk Management Revolving Fund. We have up Keith Regan, Comptroller, testifying for DAGS.
Chair, I literally stand on my testimony in support of this.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate it. That's all we have on this testimony for this piece of legislation. Anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none, does anybody have any questions? Seeing none, I'm really looking forward to that spreadsheet. That will be huge for us. So, and appreciate the work Ways and Means was doing on trying to flag this issue out for us.
Oh, I do have a question. How far are you on the status of coming up with a plan? This requires you to come up with a plan, but just wondering how far along you might be with.
Thank you,
the
Chair,
plan.
members. So we actually have put together a process to be able to analyze the various losses that occurred in the wildfire from West Maui. We have a list of the buildings that were damaged and destroyed, and so now it's a matter of just prioritizing that list and providing that information to you folks. So we're pretty far along in that process.
And regarding the insurance, you're guaranteed, or how does that work with the insurance companies?
So right now, we've collected about $125 million in property and liability insurance proceeds from our claim. We anticipate that being somewhere around 211 million when all is said and done. 200 of that will be property, about 11, little shy of 11 million in liability proceeds.
So your process includes all the
The total
agencies
amount,
that
right,
have-
and how we recommend that it be allocated. And then, of course, we'll have that discussion, right, about what that's going to look
Yeah.
like
And
together.
And then my request is that we have this ready for Ways and Means.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, we're expediting it for you.
Thank
Yep.
you very
Thank you,
much.
Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, member.
Thank you, appreciate it. Okay, anybody else? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next bill on the agenda, which is 2928, relating to procurement. This establishes a small business procurement program, the small business procurement coordinator positions permanently in the SPO's office. We've been working on this for a couple of years. First up, SPO.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Carrie Shibuya, and I'm the current Small Business Procurement Coordinator under the Small Business Initiative. The State Procurement Office stands on our written testimony, and I'd like to briefly add that over the past year working on this initiative, I've seen firsthand how critical this program is for small businesses at every stage of development. I've been able to connect with entrepreneurs who are just starting out and need help navigating the procurement system for the first time. And at the same time, I've connected with well-established businesses who have the capacity and capability to perform the state work, but are facing challenges competing against larger, well-established firms. This program helps level the playing field by providing technical assistance, outreach, policy, and ongoing support. And that is why we strongly support this bill. Thank you.
All right, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, next up we have DBED.
Hello, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Jason Nishijima on behalf of DBED. DBED stands on our written testimony in support of this bill.
Okay, thanks for being here, Jason. We appreciate it. Sechi Nagai for Civic Nexus.
Aloha, Chair,
Oh,
Vice Chair.
how you doing, sir?
Yeah, Seishi Nagai, CEO of Civic Nexus. I am one of the early entrepreneurs that Carrie mentioned, and I stand in support of my
Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you being here. Testify. Kieran Polk, Kapolei Chamber of Commerce. Go ahead,
Aloha,
ma'am.
Chair. Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. Kieran Polk, Executive Director and CEO of the Kapolei Chamber of Commerce. I have submitted written testimony. I'd like to stand on it, but I'd just like to add, I think it's no secret that our small businesses don't always have the capacity to go through the channels of procurement and what that all encompasses. And I think that we just really need to put as much energy as we can to support our small businesses here in Hawaii and get them elevated to a point where that leveling of the playing field is there, so they can come forward and put their business plans up forward to the state, through the state. And this program does that. It helps them navigate it, and they've just done a fantastic job. I've seen it firsthand in the community. But we've got to look at making it permanent. You can't just put something out there, take it back, put it. It needs to be they've got the relationships, and it needs to stand present. And so I'd just like to add that, and thank you for the time.
Okay, thank you for being here. Appreciate you testifying. Next we have Lance Royo, individual written in support. Tammy Lee, Department of Transportation.
Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, Tammy Lee, Deputy Director for the DOT. We send in our written testimony in support.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Amy Asselby, City and County Honolulu Office of Economic Revitalization. They have sent communications in support. We have Pamela Tumpap, Maui Chamber of Commerce. She has also sent written communications in support. That's all we have on 2928. Anybody in the audience wishing to testify? Yeah.
Chair, good afternoon. Keith Regan, Comptroller, Director of the Department of Accounting and General Services. I apologize for not submitting written testimony on this measure. Unfortunately, with everything going on, we missed this particular
Working
one.
on our spreadsheet. That's
Yes, but I will say that in the short time that I've had the opportunity to work with Carrie and her team at the State Procurement Office, I've watched how this program has grown and how it's helped to support small businesses in our community, which ultimately helps us as a department as we seek to support businesses that may be bidding on or working on projects right for us. And so the stronger we can make this program and the more that we can support it, I think the better it is ultimately for the entire community. So I would just urge your support of this measure, and we strongly support it as well. Mahalo.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none, members' questions. Quick question of SBO. I don't know which one. We have a couple of bills moving. One is a bid preference bill. Another one's one, that lowers the threshold requirements for the projects, which I think a lot of small businesses would be agile enough to. Do you see your office as being able to assist the SBO and the legislature in these endeavors should they pass?
Yes, we're aware of both bills, and we have provided comments. The small business program in particular would be happy, should these bills pass, we'd be happy to spread the word about them to the small business community and assist small businesses in being able to implement them.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the next bill on the agenda. This is 3068. Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry, 2927. My bad, everybody. First up, SPO.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee, body colleague, Administrator, State Procurement Office. We stand on our written testimony.
Okay, thank you so much. We have next up, City and County of Honolulu Budget and Fiscal Services. They are opposed. We also have Ryan Sakuda for the General Contractors Association, and they have submitted comments. That's all we have on this one. Anybody in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none, members' questions. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next bill on the agenda, 3068. This would prohibit a procurement officer from disclosing a competing offer's proposal or evaluation score. First up is Dags.
Chair, we stand on our written testimony in support.
Okay, thank you so much. Next up, SPO.
The State Procurement Office stands on its written testimony in support.
Okay, thank you very much. And then we also have from General Contractors Association of Hawaii. They have written in comments. That's all we have on this measure. Anybody else in the audience or Zoom world wishing to testify? Seeing none, members' questions. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next bill on the agenda, 2970, relating to standards of conduct. This prohibits state agency from entering into any contract to procure or dispose of goods and services with any business that's owner operated in which a controlling interest is held by a relative or household member. First up, SPO.
The State Procurement Office will stand on its written testimony
In support?
in support.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have Robert Harris, Hawaii State Ethics Commission. Oh, there he is. Hello, sir.
Aloha, Chair, Vice Chair. My name is Robert Harris on behalf of the Hawaii State Ethics Commission. I'll try to be brief. We did recommend 2 amendments. I just want to make sure we address those.
Okay.
One is essentially recommending that there is a obligation by the director and deputy director to be accountable for ensuring that the department follows this law. And so there's a degree of responsibility since they're the ones who are potentially the most impacted. And secondly, we do note that Chapter 84 already has a contracts section, and we suggest that perhaps just incorporating this in that contract section keeps everything in one area.
One idea. Okay, thank
you
you
very
for,
much,
for
Chair.
proffering on those 2 amendments. Okay, next up, we have Grassroots Institute of Hawaii. They have submitted written communication in support. That's all we have on 2970. Anybody else in the audience wishing to testify or Zoom? Seeing none, members' questions. Seeing none, we are going to move on to the next bill on the agenda, which is 3015, and this would require every government agency that maintains, uses, or collects, or possesses the home address of a covered public service candidate to ensure the home address is not publicly accessible. First up, we have Office of Information Practices, and bless you. They have submitted testimony and comments. Next up, Campaign Spending Commission. They have submitted.
Not present, Chair.
Not present? Okay. Oh, yeah, I have them in Zoom. Yep, they have submitted comments as well. Ty Nohara, DCCA B-Reg.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Amanda McKenzie on behalf of DCCA Registration Division. We stand on our written testimony offering comments.
Okay, thank you for the comments. Doug Meller, League of Women Voters of Hawaii. They have submitted comments to the measure. Sterling Morita, Hawaii Professional Chapter Society of Professional Journalists. They too have submitted comments. We have late from Jungmin Charles Lee, Deputy Attorney General.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members of the committee. My name is Charles Jungmin Lee, Deputy Attorney General for the Department of Attorney General. Apologize for the late submission, but we wanted to provide some written comments to help implementation of this bill.
Okay. We appreciate you coming in and offering those comments, sir. Next up, we finally have late from Ben Krebs, Public First Law Center.
Good afternoon, Chair, members of the committee. Ben Krebs with the Public First Law Center. So we respectfully oppose this measure for the reasons outlined in our testimony, but we definitely support the idea and concept. And what we've previously testified on the previous bills is that, you know, we'd like to see this expanded, right? So everybody deserves to feel safe in their home, and everybody should be able to get their home address off the internet. So right now the bill is limited to government employees, and we think that that could be expanded to more than just government employees and anybody who's at risk of being doxxed. We also point out that there are, I think, some practical issues that that will occur under the bill as written. So we would encourage the committee to look at the Chapter 92H framework and try to better fit this measure within that.
Okay.
And happy to answer or try to answer any questions.
Okay, appreciate you coming in, appreciate your amendments. That's all we have on this measure. Anybody else in the audience wishing to testify? Seeing none, members' questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next one, 2929. This is public notice, allows government agency to satisfy public notice requirements by posting notices on official state or county websites while retaining publication as an option. First up, we have OIP. They have submitted written comments. We have SPO.
State Procurement Office will stand on its written testimony providing comments.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Lane Silva, County of Maui. Go ahead, Mr. Silva. I see you.
Yes, aloha. My name is Lane Silva. I'm with the Department of Liquor Control for the County of Maui. And testifying on behalf of County of Maui, we strongly support this measure and stand by our written testimony. I will remain on a call for any questions if needed, and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for being here via Zoom. Appreciate it. Okay, then we have Peter Fritz, who is an individual.
Thank you, Chair. First, I'd like to thank the Chair for yesterday where he commented upon including an electronic link to sites, and I included that in my testimony to one of the studies that is in my testimony. I've been testifying on this issue in the past about concerns about electronic formatting, but I have some of the concerns that I have is that there's no longer a requirement to have a centralized place in order to where the notices will be published. And SPO expresses the same thing. Since you have the choice to publish electronically or to publish in the newspaper, how is somebody going to know where to look for the notice? It could change depending upon where they want. And if was cited in the Yale study that I was in, that I included in my testimony, it's actually been shown that for certain type of public participation, particularly such as the other day where there was a talk about residential facilities being located or treatment facilities being located in residential areas, that publishing electronically actually reduces the amount of civil complaints versus when it was published in the paper. I have extensive experience with the public notice requirements in the state calendar, and I've been, ever since they said that they didn't care whether or not a notice was readable by somebody with a disability and all their responsibility was to post the notice on the website, I checked the notices, so much so that it produced an article in the Civil Beat about state county agencies that aren't complying with the notice requirement. And so there really isn't any particular standard here for what the notices have to say for individuals with disabilities. The public notices can actually be posted only on your own website.
Okay, Mr. Fritz, we've reached the 2 minutes, so I'm going to have you summarize at this point what's left, okay?
There's the concerns is what's a day for purposes of posting? Is it 30 days or 29 days and 1 second? On the state calendar, it's actually 5 days and 1 second, and that's a particular concern. They're extremely...
Okay, we have to have you go ahead and wrap it up now, okay? So,
okay. There are very strong concerns about accessibility for the kapuna as well as for individuals with disabilities. I've set forth many of these things in my testimony, and thank you for the opportunity to testify.
No, we appreciate you putting that in the testimony, and we'll definitely look through this as so far as the concerns you raised. So, okay, thank you very much, sir. That's all we have on 2929. Anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none, members' questions? Seeing none, we will move on to the 2938 relating to search and rescue. First up, we have Ryan Endo, Deputy Attorney General. Oh, hello, sir.
Good afternoon, Chairman Kelby, Vice Chair Gabbard, members of the committee. Ryan Endo, Deputy Attorney General, on behalf of the Department of the Attorney General. Our comments were in our written testimony, and I will be available for any questions.
Okay, thank you for the comments, we appreciate it. We have Ethan Pearson Pomerantz, Oahu Search and Rescue. They have submitted written in support. We have Colonel Dana McLaughlin, Civil Air Patrol Hawaii Wing. They have written support. We have Rosemary Johnson, Hawaii SAR Alliance on Zoom.
The president on Zoom, Chair.
Okay, submitted written in support. That's all we have on the measure. Anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none, members, questions of the AG's office?
Yeah.
Seeing none, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to,
Excuse me, Chair.
yes.
Someone would like to testify. Oh,
Okay, we'll go ahead, and 2 minutes starts now. Go ahead and testify.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair, and committee members. My name is Rosemary Johnson. I thank you very deeply for placing this on the agenda item. And I am very grateful to speak in strong support of this legislation, which has been years in making. I am here to represent the Hawaii SAR Alliance, which is a group of practitioners and SAR practitioners around the state who are boots on the ground from all of the agencies throughout the state. We have collaborated last few years on looking at what our problems are, the gaps, and potentially solving that. Every year, I just want to make a note that legislation regarding SAR comes forth, and there's no solid foundation for it to stand on. And it always faces this legislation, this bill right now, is that solid foundation so that all legislation in the future regarding SAR has something to stand on and to move forward with in the future. This bill also allows to provide centralized oversight and the daily administration that is needed for centralized oversight and centralized communication between the currently fragmented interagency administration. That's really all I have to say. There is a little, I do have in my written testimony, there is a little correction on the bill is fine, but on the portal of the legislation website, where it shows the description, we had some clarification there with regards to coordinating interagency search and rescue and communications versus the word designate. So that is a key word in that website. The legislation, the bill, the way it's written, reads fine.
Okay, great. Thank you for being online and testifying. We appreciate it. And we got your written too, okay? Cool, okay. Anybody else wishing to testify? Seeing none, members, are there any questions?
I do. Attorney General, please. So you're
We'll come to the microphone, sorry.
So the placement of this office in the governor's office, you say, may have constitutional challenges. Has the Attorney General sought out or looked at what other agency in the state might be the appropriate agency to administer this program, which is important?
So I did take a look at that. There's no real clean fit. And I did talk it over with my supervisor, and he said, well, that's something better left to the decision makers in this matter.
But what would be so when we're looking at the capabilities, what would be the closest? I mean, I think Department of Law Enforcement, or is it Human Services? Where would you say that at least for search and rescue, which is important, and it spans all counties, it should be an agency that spans all counties. What might be possibilities so that we could discuss this with agencies that might be relevant?
The two departments I did look at were law enforcement and land and natural resources.
DOD.
DOD?
DOD, because they have HAIMA, right?
They do have HAIMA, and that would also be a consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
We can
Thank you.
check.
Anything else? No? Okay, all right.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is it allowed to make a comment?
excuse me, Chair. Well, someone would like to testify.
On this bill?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Aloha, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You have 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Noelle. I'm with Kauai Search and Rescue.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm not sure why my written testimony didn't get in because I
No,
thought
no, we
I
got
submitted
we got
it
your
yesterday.
written. We did get it.
Oh, okay,
We
all
said
right.
you were in
Well,
support of it.
oh, I didn't hear that. Well, I was just going to read it.
No, no, we don't like people reading their testimonies. If you got like something else to
Yeah.
offer, then go ahead.
Okay. I don't really have anything else to say except what I wrote down, but we are in support of this.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Any ideas of if the governor's office is unconstitutional, place it where you think it might be appropriate?
I think law enforcement handles missing persons. We have currently an MOU with our law enforcement agency here on Kauai, and so they're the ones that call us out, and we have all of our standards in place, and we work really closely with them and other agencies. So I see it as a law enforcement personally, just because of how we've done it here on Kauai.
Okay, Nicole, Noel, sorry. Thank you so much. We appreciate you weighing in on that. And we have your written testimony as well, okay?
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Right on. See you. Okay, anybody else? Seeing none. Members' questions?
Hello?
Oh,
Yes.
hello?
Hello. Yes, my name is Stacy Haraguchi with Civil Air Patrol.
Okay, we passed you already. We saw your testimony in support, but go ahead, Stacy. If you want to add to your written, go ahead. Your 2 minutes is starting
Yeah,
now.
sorry. So this is in response to the Attorney General's office comments. I understand the legalities of needing it to be under a department within the state. One of the complications is, so all counties currently have an MOU with the Coast Guard. So if they need assistance with any maritime or aviation-related search and rescue, they can immediately skip echelon, go from the county directly to the Coast Guard if they cannot effect a rescue within 1 hour. However, there is no coordination office to go from the county to, let's say, the State National Guard to ask for an Army National Guard helicopter. So in July of 2024, there was a real-world search and rescue, a downed helo helicopter on the north shore of Kauai. And it did go through the governor's office for approval to use that National Guard asset, even though Coast Guard assets were in place. So it creates a very odd working relationship where a federal entity, I believe, ends up asking for state support. It's kind of working in reverse. So that is part of the additional reason for that state SAR coordinator.
Yeah.
In regards to the Attorney General's question, or I'm not sure whose question was about the appropriate department, it would have to be a department that has a 24/7 watch standard, because obviously search and rescue can happen at any time. I'm not sure about, law enforcement obviously has the 911 dispatchers. I'm not sure about DLNR. And then for DOD, you have the JOC under the National Guard, and you also have HAIMA. So
yeah,
I'll defer to those experts on which agency has the bandwidth to handle this, but it does involve, obviously, aviation, all the fire departments, the volunteer SAR organizations, possibly federal Title 10 DOD assets, because they may be able to assist in an extremist situation. But it also requires coordination with Indo-PACOM for that approval. That is the conclusion to my comment. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you for weighing in on the conversation. I think that's helpful. So it looks like we've kind of preliminarily identified 2 entities that we should reach out to. We do defer decision-making 1 week for reasons like this, but thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify on the measure? Any more?
Yes. I would like to add comment, please,
Okay,
to...
okay, we're done with that, with the testimonies and the question and answers period. So this is for a chance for members to ask any of the individual testifiers questions. So any of the questions from the members towards any of the individual testifiers? Okay, seeing none, this does wrap up and conclude the hearing. Like I said, we are going to be deferring all items on this agenda, time certain, until next week at 3:30 p.m. in this room 225. Thank you so much for being here and have a great day. Okay, this is a quick reconvene of the Committee on Government Operations. Just want to make very clear that we will be deferring decision-making time certain to Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 3 p.m. here in room 225. And this definitely concludes today's hearing on government operations. Thank you for allowing me this clarification.